Here on the DataTableReader tab, I'm going to show an example that works both with the SQL client namespace and with the OLEDB namespace, just to prove that this DataTableReader object is data source agnostic. Let's try with the SQL client data first. And here we'll come in and again get a connection to SQL Server. We'll do select star from categories, set up our command. Now in this case, I'm going to use a data adapter to fill a data table, and you may not have studied the data adapter yet. Just for now, assume that it's an object that knows how to go out using a command object and a connection and fill a data table. I'm going to skip over that code right now. We'll look at it in a different section. So we filled our data table with information. In your case, someone might just hand you a data table. So my data table's full, and now I'm going to display the DataTableReader schema. I have a method that does this. All right, and we've stepped over that one. Let's go back and run it again so we can see it. Press the wrong key here. There we go. Let's step into it. And here, very simple, as in the previous example, we're going to call the getSchemaTable method of the data reader. Now notice that we're passed here a DataTableReader. Not a SQL data reader or an OLEDB data reader. It's a data table reader, which means this procedure would work whether we'd gotten our data table from SQL Server or from OLEDB data source. Okay, we'll get the schema table, fine. Notice here how we created it. DataTableReader equals new DataTableReader based on our table. So that's how we created our data table reader. You handed a data table, it creates a reader over that data table. Also, we can use that reader to fill a combo box. Here we have code, I'll step into that, which is going to get an ordinal for the column name we want to retrieve. Column name is category name. We'll clear our list box, and while we read items from the reader, we'll add them to our list box. Now, I'm not saying you'd actually do it this way in real life, but the fact is you can use this technique, given a data table reader, to iterate through the rows no matter where that data table came from. To prove that point, we'll try it again, this time, and notice the data's here, this time using an OLEDB data source. Let's step into that one. Here, for the first time in a while, we're going to get data from a JET database. Here we'll use the getJetConnectionString method, which you saw in an earlier example. And we now have our connection set up using the OLEDB connection object. We'll select star from categories. We'll create an OLEDB command. And just as before, we'll create an OLEDB data adapter to fill our data table. Data table is full. Now we'll create a new data table reader over that data table. The code from here on out is the same, whether it's a SQL data adapter and SQL command and SQL connection, or OLEDB data adapter and OLEDB command and OLEDB connection. Here the code's all the same. As a matter of fact, we're just stepping into the exact same procedures. I'll press F5. And you'll see the results work just the same. We've used a data reader and called its getSchemaTable method. That worked. And we've iterated through all the rows and filled this combo box with data from that data reader. So, the data table reader is useful if someone hands you a data table and you need to iterate through its rows as if it was a data reader in a read-only, forward-only fashion.